Does this work?
Yeah, great.
Okay, great. Yeah, kind of a question, or just trying to get maybe your thoughts on free will. And this may seem kind of antithetical to some of what has been said, but I think it's maybe also aligned in kind of like a paradoxical way. I'm starting to feel like the getting the mind out of the way with this process may be the best way. Like you look into like Kundalini tips and tricks, and how to what do I do here? How should I do this? But really, if your mind is in that state, I'm wondering if that's preventing you from just being and allowing the process to happen. Kind of like just being in a state of radical acceptance as the process unfolds, and then being able to greet that with kind of love and grace for yourself, and how that maybe aligns with free will. Like, is there really anything you can do, or do you just let it happen?
Yeah, great question. And and you presented it really well. If you have free will, use it to the best of your ability. But if there are times where you feel in a state of surrender or something is moving you, go with that. Ultimately, we can't get this wrong, because the fact of the matter is, I mean, you can look in Buddhism touches upon this quite well. There is no individual entity here called Brent or me or I to control any of this. And when we see that, or that is seen, you recognize that you can never get any of this wrong, and it's all unfolding according to a very, very large divine orchestration. And from there comes a great surrender. But even though one may have seen that there is no self, still we have to operate under the illusion of there is. And that illusion, the way that we operate under, we can do our best to operate from a larger perspective that sees that there's a much larger unfolding, that it's not just the mind in control here. So that's where we can begin to pay attention to what our body's asking for, to what synchronicity is, calling us towards, this and that. At times, you may think that you, by your own ego mind, thought, I'm going to go to the bookstore and go to this aisle and pick out this book and buy it and read it. But you open the book and it's speaking directly to you and your experience, and it goes to show that something inspired you to go to the bookstore. It wasn't your own idea. So it doesn't really matter if it's you think it's free will or it's divine will. You can't get this wrong. The idea is that we just go along with the journey and be easy with what's coming up. Allow anything to come up, and know you can't get this wrong. We're here talking and sharing ideas and approaches because there's nothing else that we can do. Right? We can say, I could say, guys, it's going to happen on its own. Go just relax. And it will happen on its own. But we're here to connect and enjoy this conversation. You could say it's for fun, for entertainment, whatnot. It just makes the journey a little bit more interesting. But ultimately, yeah, this is happening on its own. There is no ego mind here to control it anyway. But if there appears to be one in your reality, then you must use it with your best of your ability to operate with consciousness, mindfulness in an ethical way, in a way that's respectful of yourself, others, et cetera, et cetera. So great. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.